So my videographer Justin and I are on our way down to order our 24 Mustang. We started chatting about, the future performance cars. And I said in that video, the 24 Mustang, thankfully, is still available with, an internal combustion engine. You can still get that V8 rear-wheel drive architecture that we've all loved since the 60s. And we're talking about where everybody else is going. I mean, Corvette, you have the C8, great car, mid-engine, and now you have the E-Ray, which is the hybrid version, kind of following some of that supercar architecture some of the other cars have, where they have an electric motor driving the front wheels and, traditional gas motor powering the rear wheels. We started talking about Dodge, and unless you lived under a rock, you've seen the Demon 170, and that's their new, max effort Demon drag car. I mean, it's 100 grand. God knows what it'll be with markup. They said they're going to make a bunch of them, a couple thousand, but again, who really knows? And I know Dodge has put out things about how they're going to try to fight markups, but sadly, a lot of those cars are going to go away. They're going to be bought, they're going to be put into collections, and it's going to be like, yeah, I've got an 8-second car, sitting in my garage that's never driven, which is kind of unfortunate, but I can't blame collectors because, it's the most powerful car Dodge has ever made. It's like 1,025 horsepower, I think, and 900 pound-feet of torque. And they run 890s at 151 miles an hour, which is, full cage, window net, parachute, full-blown drag car you need. And apparently a lot of those things are available as options from Dodge when you buy this car. But we're talking about, they're going this direction where this is the last call. That's what Dodge is calling it for all these V8 muscle cars. They're making all these special edition Chargers and Challengers and, 8-second car from the dealership, crazy fast. And they're doing all this, and they're going electric, supposedly, after that. And how does a storied name like Dodge, who's had, Hemis and Super Bs and Daytonas and all these amazing, amazing special edition V8 powerful cars, just switch gears to electric? You know what? They're all gone. I almost wonder if they're playing us. Is this just a big joke that Dodge is playing to see if everyone's going to actually believe they're going electric? They showed us the electric Charger, and it was cool looking for what it was. And, I respect the performance of electric and all that kind of fun stuff. But like we said, they don't have the soul of these other cars. We still like that V8 sound and shifting gears and all the other stuff. And Dodge has been such a part of that. Dodge has been competing with Ford for years with the Chargers and Challengers, and to hear that they really think the future is electric for all these cars is kind of sad. They've got a lot of cool special editions out, including pretty much the fastest production car ever in the 170 Demon, and then bam, next year they're all going to be electric. An electric car is an appliance. They're fast, they do their thing, but they're not like those cars are. And again, I applaud Ford for still giving us that V8 rear-wheel drive car. They're the last one standing pretty much. Obviously Corvette, but Corvette's a different style car. It's not really a direct competitor for the Mustang. So it leaves the Mustang, I said, last one standing, which, it's sad. Obviously the EV agenda is heavy and they're really pushing it on us, even though batteries cost a fortune to mine and batteries cost a fortune to make, and no one really knows how to recycle all of them yet, let alone put out the fires when they're on fire. There's way too many questions about architecture and everything else. Can the infrastructure even support it for everybody to go electric all of a sudden? It just doesn't make any sense. And especially a company like Dodge. You guys are Dodge, man, Mopar. How can you just give up all that heritage and all that muscle and just decide electric from here on out? If it was any company that would I snub the system, and I applaud Ford for being the one who's doing it, but you'd think it'd be Dodge, because Dodge definitely has that zero given mentality of we're gonna stick 1,000 horsepower elephant in a minivan because we can. Where that company now is gonna go electric, no more muscle car. I don't know. I almost wonder if like I said, if it's a big joke, but obviously it can't be. They've shown us the electric cars, and they put a lot of effort into this whole last call marketing thing with roadkill nights and everything else they're doing. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I understand having an electric offering, and I've applauded Ford before for, having the Mach-E as an option. I don't want it to be the only option, but for somebody who wants electric or wants an SUV, wants a family hauler, there you go. You have your Mach-E. I still wish they dropped the Mustang name and just call it the Mach-E, but that was a whole other video. But you still have that option. Like, it's available if you want it. You can go with it. You have a Mustang in the garage and a Mach-E is your daily. I mean, I wouldn't mind that setup personally. I mean, like I said, I like the Mach-E for what it is, for an electric SUV, but I don't want it to be the only option. I don't want to not be able to have that other muscle car option or that other option, you know, a truck that can actually tow. I mean, the Lightning's been a mess lately. You know, if you're following the news or whatever, you know, we did a review on a Lightning not that long ago, and you know what? It's a fast, cool truck. It really is. It's everything a premium F-150 is, and you know, it's an all-wheel drive, very, very quick truck. But they're having battery issues with it. They're having all kinds of other issues with it. And you know, Ford has launched this little marketing thing with this new T3, Trust the Truck, that they're building. That's supposed to be, I believe Jim Farley, the CEO, called it the Millennium Falcon with a bed. I don't really know what that is, but that's supposed to be the new truck, you know, the electric truck of the future that Ford has coming. And you know, Ford went through the effort of actually splitting their company between, you know, Ford Blue, which is, you know, your OG internal combustion engines, and then Model E, which is going to be all their electric stuff, and then obviously Ford Pro is the third part of it. So Ford's putting the electric in, but they're still giving us those V8 cars for now, where a lot of other companies are giving up. And like I said, I still can't believe that a company with the history of Dodge would just throw their hands up to internal combustion like that. Now with all the cars that are out there and all these special editions and the fanfare behind them and the excitement they're creating, and then just bam, that's it, no more. I don't know. It's kind of hard to believe. And like I said, I kind of, on one hand, hope they're maybe playing us, because competition makes cars better. You know, I'm not saying the Mustang's not a great car, because it is, but competition makes cars better. I mean, Jeep threw a freaking Hemi in the Wrangler because all of a sudden they had competition from the Bronco. You know, Jeep was its own vehicle for how many years? There really was no competition. There were small ones, but now the Bronco's back, and there's a lot of Jeep owners that are like, hey, let me go check this out. There's a lot more technology in the Bronco. There's a lot of things that the Jeep doesn't have. Now, the hardcore off-road guys are still going to stick with the Jeep, if they were Jeep guys to begin with, but the Bronco creates competition, which means Jeep's going to have to build a better Jeep if they want to keep their market share. And when you get rid of that competition, you end up with every vehicle being the same. I mean, there's no reason to put a lot of money into R&D and improving and doing all this stuff to your vehicle if there's no competition in that space. And that's something that, again, I hope doesn't become a deal with the Mustang. I mean, the 2024, from everything I've seen and read, and you know, I think it's a great car. I think it's great that we have that option. I think they're giving you a lot of car. Yes, they're expensive. So is every other car these days. But it's still that option that a lot of us want, where unfortunately, a lot of these other manufacturers, they've pretty much abandoned, you know, the automotive enthusiast to try to push electric cars. And there are plenty of fast electric cars. I mean, if you haven't seen the Lucid Air Sapphire, I think they call it, check out a video. I mean, this is a bottom 9-second, 145 mile an hour electric sedan that anybody who can afford it can walk into a store and buy. That's a lot of power for somebody who's never gone that fast. But they're that fast, and their goal was to beat the Tesla Plaid, and they did it pretty handily. And again, I've never been against the performance, because I definitely respect fast. Fast is fast, but it's just not the same fast as these V8 cars. I mean, the V8 car has that soul that electric will never have. And again, props to Ford for still keeping that V8 around for now, while a lot of the competition has gone away.